to snag that Twitter link. Here we go. Do you want me to send this? Can I send this in our private chat here on StreamYard? Can you see it on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's the link to the X stream. If you want to share that, I'm going to retweet that from my end right now. But okay, cool. I think we are good to go. Yeah. All right, awesome. You good to go on that side?
Yep.
Perfect, guys. Welcome to Wolf Web 3. Welcome to the video stream. Well, half video stream, half. It's like kind of spaces, but we're trying to get it here just so it's a bit easier for sound bites even. So I'm sure there will be some pretty cool moments in this podcast, and so we're excited to bring it to you. Wolf Web 3 to the CryptoFace world. This guy is an amazing trader. He's out here all the time. He was just on Spaces with our guys, A Trades, and killing it over there. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to kind of open your brain a little bit, get into the trading side of things, a little bit into the like psychology side of the trading and the YouTube and the content, as well as just how you think about the world a little bit. So I'm excited to have you, man.
Thank you for having me, man. You've been putting in that work, and man, I'm pretty sure like when you started your Wolf Spaces project, like I don't really know how that all ties. There's a bunch of different like Wolf things or a couple different ones, but I think I was there in the beginning, bro, wasn't I? Like when you kind of branched off and started your own like Wolf Web 3 thing or Wolf 3, wasn't I? Wasn't I there?
It's possible, yeah. So like so there's a difference in the Wolf ecosystem, right? We've got Gav, who is Wolf Financial, the blue Wolf, the TradFi, the stocks, all that. And he's the guy who started doing Spaces. He was the first ever beta Spaces host. You know, Twitter was like, we're going to try these Spaces out. And he was the first guy to try it. And he's just been going nonstop for 4 years or whatever. And at the beginning of this year, they started Wolf Web 3. And so that's me. You know, I'm just doing all the Spaces, the video streams, you know, making sure everything's running smoothly on that end. So
I know. Well, you've been doing a good job. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Well, listen, I'm hyped to kind of dive in a little bit. A lot of people have seen your trades. There's some crazy thumbnails I've seen on YouTube, like CryptoFace enters, insert the 100,000, you know, type of investment trade, and then it's like some kind of reaction stock clip. But tell me about the world trading. Like, when did you get into that? What was the main reason you got in? Was it a side quest that sort of just turned into a whole entire thing, or you know, what was the origin story there?
Oh boy, the CryptoFace origin story. Well, I've told it a couple times. We could go pretty deep. It depends on how deep we want to go, but I guess we can kind of sort of go all the way. When I was, dude, I feel like there's a memory I have of when I was in like second grade and on the playground. I don't even know why this came into my head, but I knew that I wanted to be like a stockbroker, trade stocks and Wall Street type of stuff. I had a cousin who was a stockbroker, and I don't know, I just kind of knew that that might be the path that I probably want to go on. You know, I'm talking like second grade, however old I was. And fast forward, there's no path to be. We have college courses and college majors for so many different things, random shit. But there's no stockbroker college. It's kind of crazy. It's like, is that done on purpose? It has to be done. There has to be a reason why. And there's plenty to teach. I mean, there's like, you could have a university multi-year course on trading. You could have a doctorate degree. You could have probably in 8 years going to college to learn trading. But there's not. And so that kind of got lost, and I went on a different path for quite some time. And then really everything kind of changed in one night. And it wasn't like a bad day at work that I remember. Like, it was nothing special, but I kneeled on my bed and prayed to Jesus one night. And I remember my words. I said, show me a way that I can help people all around the world make money who really need it. Those are my words. And knowing I've worked long enough to know I was in sales and sales consulting, business consulting, to know that, if you help others make money and be profitable, that it generally comes back to you. So when I made that prayer, it wasn't like, oh, I want to give everything away. I'm gonna live in a shack and do everything for free. My intentions were certainly like true though. Like I know if you help others enrich their lives and make money, that anyone I know who's done that has been a successful person. And right after, I mean, right after, I didn't even go get a glass of milk. I didn't call anybody, but right after I went to my computer and a video popped up of another YouTuber talking about this program called Profit Trailer, which was an old crypto bot trading program, and a couple other things too. But I got into that and um, started having good results, and I was doing it part time. I still had a job, and when I was looking for an answer or like help with Profit Trailer, for example, I would go to these videos of people and they would have, excuse me, hella long intros. They would, what should have been like a 4-minute video was a 45-minute ordeal. I was like, man, what if I start making videos? When I'm going to make these videos and I'm going to give the answer immediately. I'll say, hi, this is, CryptoFace, and this is how you do this. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. And then maybe tell a joke, at the end or something. And that's really kind of how it started. Long story short.
Dude, well, I appreciate you sharing that story, and definitely a couple places we could probably zoom in there. I was not expecting the turn to the divine. I actually had a similar experience. Mine, I have no idea about the details, maybe not, but similar experience, just kind of on my knees, and I was like, I'm gonna try this guy. Apparently, he's supposed to be God or something, and apparently, he's got a lot of stuff to back it up. He seems to have more answers than I do. And I quite literally just made a pact in the sky. And I was like, if you will, take care of this thing, this, that, and the other, then I am so down to give my life over to you. I don't even know what that means, but I've done enough research to at least know that I can ask this. And there's like a small chance this might work, at least more than the drugs that I was doing. So that's super powerful that your story kind of had that in there.
Yep, right after too. Like I said, as soon as I was done, and it maybe was like a bad day, but I don't. From what I recall, it was just like a normal day. I mean, obviously the thought was on my mind, and I've always been like a fairly religious person. I have my own mind and like my own beliefs, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that works sometimes. And so yeah, man, that's what happened.
Wow.
And that's
Wow.
cool that
Yeah.
you had a similar experience.
Yeah, and just like you, overnight, I was 1 day away from starting to sell drugs. It was like insane timing. The next day, I just threw it all
Damn.
away. Yeah, it was crazy divine timing. I could not find any explanation. I lost the desire to smoke and do any of that stuff as well. Just like quite literally overnight. It's not even something that I asked for. It was just something I was struggling with, and just overnight it was cured. So I was like, okay, I don't have an answer for that. That's pretty insane. So anyways, yeah, man, wild
And
stuff.
you know what though, dude? That was before we were like heavily AI saturated. So now it happens all the time. I'll have a random thought, bro. It's crazy. I'll have a random thought. Um, and about like a product or something that I haven't searched before, and then it'll pop up. And so I think the AI now is way better than we think it is. Like even the AI people, like they don't fully understand it. But for like just for businesses in search results, I mean, it's crazy. You can think it and then it appears on your Google or on your side ads. At least with me, that's what happens. It happens with TV. I'm a TV psycholopath. I'm an empath with the television. I'll think of a random movie that I haven't thought of for years, and boom, it'll be on later on that night. Crazy shit like that. So it could be like electrical field shit. or I'm psychologically gifted with TV.
All the guys texting you if you're long right now, they're like, "Yo, will you please dream of a bull run? Just a absolute Valhalla shot straight to the outer space."
Yeah,
Um,
that's maybe happened once or twice where like I don't
has
know
it?
if I've maybe had like one or two dreams that happened, but not yeah, no, not your gut. My gut will tell me a lot of things. A lot of times it's like,
Mm.
damn, my gut's like, ooh, look at this, it's gonna do this. And that happens sometimes for sure. But yeah, when it comes to TV, I can predict what's on TV.
That is wild stuff. Quite the statement there coming from CryptoFace. Wasn't expecting that one. But maybe it's lended some advantages towards your way. So interesting stuff there. And I am curious if well, so you mentioned that you were religious. I didn't grow up religious, pretty much like the first year into this whole thing. But do you think that kind of worldview affects the way you trade in any way? I feel like there's so much psychology in trading that isn't really talked about. A lot of it's just the flashy stuff to get people in, and then 90% of them get wrecked, and 2 weeks later they haven't looked at a chart. But curious on if that mindset applies at all. What is some of those main things in psychology that come to mind when I ask a question like that?
Mm, Well, I don't know if well, there has been a couple times, and I think I'm about 8 out of 11, maybe 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 times where I've been in a bad and I've been on live streams where I was down. There was one in particular, I was down like 400 grand in the red. And I'm like, folks, this is we're gonna pray and we're gonna donate. There's like 3 charities that I'll donate to. And where I said, Dear Jesus, please help me get out of this trade and not in a loss. And if it works, great. If not, it's okay. But we're gonna donate some money, call it karma, call it whatever.
Mm,
And man, like the first 5 times, and it's not something you want to abuse. I don't want to abuse it. And so I only try to use it if I'm really in the situation where I think I need it.
mm,
And more times than not, it's worked out. I mean, we've done it live multiple times where we'll donate to like the Cancer Kids Foundation or
nice.
the Dead Veteran Family Foundation stuff. Those aren't the names of them. I'm just spitting off what they do.
Sure.
And it's worked. I mean, it's like it's minimum 65% success rate, but I think it's higher than that.
Mm. What is that 400 grand trade you were in, that little pickle? Where's that stack in the high level, high stress positions you've been while you're live?
That's that's up there. I mean, top 2, top 3 for sure. There's
Mm,
different types of stress. Um, Trading live is certainly stressful. It can be it's stressful either way. It is a
mm,
lot worse. Um, well, I actually gain a lot of respect from when I'm in like a bad trade and it's live. People like that um, because they know it's real and like you can't. It's you don't win every trade. I don't win every trade, you know. But people like to see like they just want to see what's real. If you're on a winning spree, great. If you have a loss, great. If it's a bad loss, great. It's just I don't know. The truth shall set you free, and that's kind of the way it is.
yeah, dude, I cannot imagine trading live with real sums of money. Where when you trade, is your mindset such that you're like, I'm here to make money, or when you're streaming, are you more like, this is content, this is some entertainment? But are
Oh
you like,
man,
when you
that's
trade
a
these
constant
bags?
battle. Yeah.
Okay,
So I'll when I'm in a losing trade, I'll fall back on the excuse of that I'm doing it for content.
okay.
And well, I'll tell you, here's where it really gets me is let's say, I entered a trade last night, set some stops, whatever, went to bed, and I wake up this morning and I turn the stream on and the trade's, way in the green. But it's kind of at the end. This gets me a lot. I'll start the stream and the trade's already been going. I mean, I think it happened like 2-3 weeks ago where I was already in the position, it's time to stream. And as soon as I start to stream, I'm like, man, I should be closing this. But it's like I just started. I got to be in this for at least another
Mm,
hour, 2 hours. Because if I end the trade, the stream's pretty much over. What else am I going to do? Sit
yeah.
here and talk? So it's hard for me to stream and not be in a trade. It's pretty much
Mm,
impossible for me to do it. Just I don't know what to do if I'm not streaming, or if I'm not in a trade and I'm streaming. I don't know what to do. So that gets me all the time, quite frequently. But it's give and take. It's give and take. But when I end up losing because of it, it really pisses me off. Like, what was I thinking?
mm,
80,000. I was up 80 grand. That's a new car. Like
yeah.
80,000 people work hard for that all year. And I'm on here just, you know, screwing it off. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. And so it really is a daily battle, man. It is. I wish I could be a stone cold person
Mm,
that has no emotion with trading. And there are tools, there are for example, like prop trading. I'm in with this company called Breakout Prop, and it's crypto prop firm trading. They're super legit, best prop firm out there, funded trader shit.
mm,
But when you have a set of rules where it's okay, you just got funded, let's say 100,000. If you lose $4,000 in one day, you're cut off. And so you start small wins, small losses, and let the big wins like catch you by surprise, just like when you're fishing. And so, like prop trading, even if it's not like the main way, just when I was doing the prop trading stuff, and I'm gonna be doing it again here, it it bled into my normal leverage trading and like the discipline that I had with that. And I'm like, dang, if I was working at Goldman Sachs or like a standard hedge fund or whatever, they have rules and you have to stick to those rules, and those rules are there for a reason. And
mm.
so yeah, I think if you can find a legitimate prop firm, which is extremely difficult in so many ways it's difficult. Um, that can really help you, just like as like an immediate remedy.
What are some green flags to look for to identify a safe, good one, secure?
Uh, People who've used it
Mm,
that are not sponsored, that's the best way.
mm,
Um, I mean, I could go over a million red flags. The red flags are okay, how often there's so many little tricks. God, it's like an endless list, whether it comes to you can only withdraw once a month, like mega huge discount codes. When you try to withdraw your money, it's tough.
mm,
Um, Hidden order books, like the exchange game alone, prop firm or not, is very shady. I'm not trying to throw every exchange under the bus and make enemies, but there's a number like if let's say if your average crypto exchange, I don't know if I should say this. I don't want to make a bunch of enemies, but it's probably really not really a secret. But if your average crypto exchange made $100 in profit, about half is from shady shit, whether it's slipping, hidden order book, targeting, and that's not a myth. That is a fact. It's a fact. It's no myth.
should we be throwing out some handles here, getting specifics, or should we keep it
Hell
a
no, hell
mystery?
no. We ain't calling it everybody. They all fucking do it. They all do it.
Oh man, yeah. I guess when you've
Some
been
worse
in
than
the
others.
industry
Some
for a
certainly
while.
worse than others.
Mm,
But it's like, what, if you can just trade with, if you can use an email and trade, it's, I mean, you want the exchange to be there. You don't want them to go out of business. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And it's like, honestly, you're able to dodge those things if you're responsible.
mm,
It's like if you play by the 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 correct rules, um, which is like you're a disciplined trader, you take profit when you're supposed to, you don't do dumb things,
mm.
you'll be totally fine and you can make a living off of it long term. Plenty of people do, plenty of people have, and they're going to continue to do so. But boy, I tell you, it's almost like the COVID virus. It exposes if you have a weakness somewhere, whether it's your heart, your kidney, your lungs, your brain, your ass, it just like boop, it finds that and multiplies it by 10. So you definitely gotta watch yourself. And it's, for me, I can only speak for myself. It's an ongoing battle. And like just this past week or two, this past week, I withdrew a little over half of what I had on the exchange to trade, because I'm a believer. It's whatever I want to have, whatever I'm going to trade, I'm having on the account. I'm not going to have, like, if I'm going to trade with $1 million, I'm not going to have 10 million on the account, because I'm going to end up trading the 10 million. So this, we're like, what, 2 weeks before the United States presidential election. And in my opinion, the market is really shaky right now. Like a lot of money's on the sidelines. And excuse me. I believe after the election is when things are going to really start kicking off with like good volume, good curvature on the charts. But right now it's a rose with too many thorns that's not worth trying to prick. But I know myself, and I know I'm like, ooh, I see this. Ooh, I want to trade this. Like I was in a short, and it can only go. You got to take what the market gives you. It's super dangerous right now. So knowing that, and knowing that I am likely to go ham, I limited myself to how ham I can go, and withdrew, over half of what I have on the exchanges to trade with. So, and I'm only doing that because I've ran myself into a wall, so many times, plenty of times over the past however long it's been, 7, 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years. So now it's like when I get that feeling of I don't have that confidence, like there's plenty of trades where I know 99.9%, like, ooh, we got this one. And those are the trades you're supposed to leverage. Those are the trades you're supposed to, use these tools. But when you're not confident and you're in the middle of a range, or you're at the top or the bottom, and you still don't know what's going to happen, like you're not supposed to be using certain tools. You don't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail. You use a hammer.
Yeah, makes sense. By the way, I see a bunch of people who are tuning into this stream right now. Whether you're on X or YouTube, you should be able to give him a follow. I believe on YouTube, I even tagged him in the title, so you should be able to just click his name on YouTube, and then if you're on X, it's also in the title. If you want to give CryptoFace a follow, definitely do so, and check out his YouTube as well. There's a bunch of videos and content over there. And if you enjoy the content, yeah, definitely repost the stream if you're on X, and we'll keep it rolling here. So curious, from the trading side of things, I'm certainly not an experienced trader. I spent the last bear market studying and doing some, and I was in a group that was in Seattle when I was living there, and they're just a bunch of my friends. And so I would tune in with them, relatively just casually, I guess, but I got a decent sense of the charts. However, there's so much of a difference between a veteran trader who's been in the game for 4 or 5 years, 20 years, versus someone who's just been in a bunch of trades over the course of 1 year. There's just certain things you can't learn without going through the full phases of these cycles and stuff. So I'm curious, from your perspective, something that you think are maybe assumptions that aren't true about the trading world, maybe things that you notice a lot of beginners thinking, and then they get into the game and they're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was.
Okay. Yeah, I could think of a couple. I know. Here's an answer for you. Strategies. So a lot of times, especially a new trader, it's just because you're an experienced trader doesn't mean you're a good one. There's plenty of salesmen, for example. I've been in sales for 20 years. And it's like, well, you've been a shitty salesperson for 20 years, right? But if you're, one thing that I can say is there is not one all be all strategy forever. There's things that can work for you, but For example, there's someone I know, and they're always saying that they've kind of finally figured it out. Like every 2 months, I finally figured it out. I'm doing this, this, and this strategy. And it works for a month.
Mm.
And then shit hits the fan for them. So that strategy that person learned does work, but there's a time and a place for certain strategies, whether it's an up market, side market, down market. And there's more than just if it's going up, if it's going down, if it's going sideways, but there's a lot of different like windows. That's another thing. So I found, at least with like Bitcoin and crypto, a window will open for 2 to 4 weeks where the charts are repeating the same patterns. Certain indicators are repeating certain indications. And when this happens, I can long it right here, and it's a guaranteed thing. And that will last for that window, but that window is going to close, and there's going to be a transition into a new trade environment. So the trading environment. So one thing I always tell everyone and my people is we have to identify the environment that we're in. What are the ranges? What are the supports and resistances? And what's working and what isn't? What do things look like if it's going to go up or down, and for how long? And so the trading environment, at least in my experience in crypto, they'll last between like 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes longer, sometimes less. And for me, what works best, the most dangerous time is that transition, when the trend, when it ends, because you'll keep doing the same thing, but it stops working. And by that time, you've built up a bag, and you're starting to trade big. And then boom, that one mistake, and boom, it's all gone. Now your whole month of work is done for. And so yeah, you got to know, you got to fight your confidence. You're at your weakest when you're at your strongest, when your head is big and you're just unstoppable and you're so confident. The market always will break your legs. And so you really gotta know when your gut's telling you, when the charts are telling you that, nah, this is different, and not have that bias. And man, that bias is killer, man. It'll kill you. It'll kill you. It'll kill you.
Man, yeah, dude. Some of my friends were showing me the accounts they had blown in the past, and they're like, yeah, man, it can happen real quick. You can be on a roll, and then something happens, you trip on a Lego, and next thing you know, you're just tumbling.
You're long in the tops, you're short in the bottoms, and sometimes, listen, the pencil necks out there will tell you, CryptoFace long another top, he's short another bottom. It's like, okay, well, this ain't really bottom, and maybe it was the bottom, but it's going my direction. Like there's times where it's okay not to get the perfect trade. Like, okay, maybe you weren't there. I'm not sitting there looking at the damn chart 24/7. You want to have a life. So you're not always there at the perfect time. That doesn't mean you still can't catch like a good chunk of the beef. But man, you really gotta, you have to, whether you write a little sign like, is this a sure thing? Am I gambling now? Because the more confident you get, the more risks you start taking, and your vision becomes so tunneled. You get tunnel vision, and you don't realize it until it's too late. And even when it is too late, when you have that loss, and it's like, dude, I knew that this was not a 90% confident move. I didn't have the big time frames backing up my small time frames. It didn't check all the marks on my box, or I'm trading like I'm in an uptrend, but it's in a downtrend, and I'm getting trapped on these small time frame. Oh, this looks like it's going to go up now. Boop, nope, down again. Oh, it looks like it's going to go up now. Boop, nope, down again. And so, man, there's so many ways. There's so many ways to get sliced, but it's all about, when your gut always tells you, it really does. It's like a little voice that's like, this, it's not the same. It's not the same. at least for me, I can only speak for myself. This is what happens to me and has happened to me, is
Mm,
my gut's like, this isn't the same. So this week, this isn't the same. So I'm like, I got to pull back. There's fundamentally and technically, fundamentally, the election's coming up. That's
mm,
fundamental analysis. And technically, the technicals we're at a top right now, and so it's like, man, I can't screw this up when I know in like 3 weeks, we're gonna have another window open again. So
mm. Yeah, dude. No, you bring us some hardcore facts. I'm seeing a lot of the comments in the chat right now. Really appreciate everyone who's tuning in. By the way, so let's talk about some of the bigger positive plays, some of the wins that you've had. Have you been able to capture any crazy wins while on stream? How did it feel versus that? Does it feel any different when you're doing it on your own? It's like, okay, I have like a triple prong question. It's partially that, like, how does it feel to win big, especially on stream? And then the second is for people who are trying to go full time with things. I'm a content creator, so I can justify, if I'm able to sell a certain amount of content and I'm able to, make enough to pay bills, then okay, I can go full time. It makes sense in my head. But with traders, I'm like, man, it feels like an entire thing you have to learn. It feels like a skill set that takes like a lifetime to master, sort of thing that you're always working on. So for
yeah.
me to go full time into trading feels way more dangerous than something like going full time into content. But I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on some of that.
Well, that's a commission. It's a commission game, and so I started working in sales when I was a teenager. In fact, I was like too young to even work for the company. I was wrestling at the time. And so there was one time where I went away for the weekend to a wrestling tournament. And when I came back, everyone else that they hired that was, my age, they fired and they pulled me into the office, but my numbers were good. I was successful and they figured it out and kept me there.
Mm,
But I always was a commission guy for better and for worse. And trading is the ultimate commission. You don't have a salary. Um, Same with content creating. You don't have a salary being a content creator.
mm,
And really, all I can say is, I had a career, I had a job when I started doing this stuff, and I just did it when I could from home or part time on lunch in the morning. When I first started making videos, man, I would, I worked, I lived right next to where I work. And so I'd drive home and throw up a little like 5 minute video analysis. And then I would go back to work. And, I started making money with it. And then I got fired. It's not like I quit the job. They fired my ass. And I was like, well,
wow.
I'm going to do this. I'm making an income. I know I can pay my rent and survive, and so let me just keep doing this shit. It worked out. Um, as far as I guess what it feels like to win and lose live, I mean, I I it's good. Like it feels good. It feels better. I find I get more enrichment when my community is doing good.
Mm,
Like if I have a loss and it's a trade signal I posted, sure the loss sucks. But it sucks if there's 1,000 people that I led to a loss, or I don't give financial advice, but if there's 1,000 people that thought I was making the right move and I didn't, that's 1,000x. That's 1,000x shitty feeling. But
mm,
um, it's 1,000x good feeling, when you're right. And so that's why, man, I'm not really, I used to have a signal group, and I had like a hidden copy trading group where a select few people copy traded me and shit. Went
mm.
really well too. Went really well. But that's not the answer. And the answer is to figure it out yourself. Because when you put faith in another man, you will always be let down. You can
Yep.
only have faith in the man in the mirror and the man upstairs. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Um, and that's a bad habit to form where you're reliant on other people. And even if you do find, let's say you do find like a good person to copy trade from, you went through 10 assholes to finally find one that worked. And then that guy has a life. he gets a girl pregnant, or he's depressed, or he sucks now. You know, he was good for a window and that window's closed. He was good. He had a good strategy. It worked for a couple months. Another thing with this copy trading shit is the numbers are so fudged. The numbers they show, they're like, this guy's done 1,000,000% in profit, but it doesn't count any of his losses. So it's like, well, no shit. If you only post on, they only show the winning percentages, not the losing percentages. There is so much fudge packing that goes on. It's crazy. And so we all want shortcuts. We all want the easy way out. We're human. Some of us, most of us are human. But there's the answer is to just do it your damn self. But there are tools out there that do make things easier. Market Cipher has been tried and true and stands to this day from day one. It's simple. There's a simple strategy, and if people stick to it, it works from all walks of life. Like anyone can. Well, I don't know about that, but technically, yeah, anyone can trade. But it's like, okay, you have to do two things. Number one, you have to find a tool or a system that will tell you if the price is going to go up or down and the strength of that move, right? And then if you figure that out, only half the battle is won. The second half is the hardest part, and that's dealing with your own ass. There is so many trades. Probably all of my damn losing trades. I was in profit at some moment, but I didn't close it. And now it's at a loss. You know, more times than not. Most of the time, man, it's like, why didn't I take profit there? I should have. So, but I mean, even that, and it's like, if a lot of people don't even figure out the first step, they're going off, you know, random shit or I don't know. A lot of people don't even figure out the first step. But if you figure out the first step and you find a good indicator or system that works for you, that's only the first half. The second half is, you know, just like when someone wins the lottery. Every person that wins the lottery ends up blowing it away and going right back to where they were before. So it's just like being a plumber. Yeah. It's just like being a fireman. You know, you gotta do it. It's just like a shooting. If you like shooting guns, you know, you improve your aim by sending more lead through them pipes, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no way around it.
No way around it. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. I have to typically walk right through the fire to I mean, after I walk through the fire though, I'm cool, but I do have to usually just get tossed in and kind of just beaten up for a while until I get it. I just feel like it moves a bit faster, but curious to hear on the first like couple years of your trading journey, what that looked like. Some people I see in 2024 and probably earlier as well, but people go straight into working, you know, with those companies that will lend them money, and it's perceived as very low risk, and just, you know, pass a couple tests and you get access. Do you think it's a good idea? Like maybe on like a surface level, and then maybe more of a deeper question in regards to like, is it too easy? Is it too fast to get them this kind of access? I'm curious what your early days in the trading journey looks like, and then as well as the other thing at the end.
Early days, huh? I guess there's a couple things I could share about it. Early days. So with Bitcoin, I guess you could say I just kind of got lucky with Bitcoin. Something about Bitcoin I've always been good with. I've always been a good trader with Bitcoin. Not everything else. A lot of other things. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can pretty much trade almost anything and be successful if I really look at it and trade it. But there's some things that I'm just not good at. There's some things I'm not good at trading that I have a bad record with, like Ripple. I've maybe done like 15 Ripple trades in my career. And I think I've probably had 3 successful Ripple trades. So I suck at that. So, you know, I don't want to trade that. I do have one story of a bad loss in my earlier career, and it was you know, maybe after like I was maybe a year and a half into doing this, and I call him the Sheik. I had like a Saudi Arabian oil prince Sheik type dude. He could be, I don't know, he's from one of them countries, and I mean, dude was obviously made of money. And he sent me 83 Bitcoin to trade. And at the time, I think it was worth like 100 grand, something like that. Maybe more. And long story short, it went wrong and I lost it all. And I will say this, he was up my ass every day. Are you in any trades? Are you in any trades? Are you in any trades? And so he was up my ass, but I'm the one who lost it, like, and it started off pretty good. I think I started off doing okay in the beginning. But he was kind of up my ass, but that's not an excuse. I lost it. And man, I'll never forget that. I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to calculate what 83 Bitcoin's worth to this day. But yeah, and he was really cool about it though. He was like, I hope you learn.
Oh man.
And I don't think I've ever talked to him since, but sometimes I shout him out. I'm like, Sheik, man, if you're out there and you hear this, like, I'm still sorry, because I've invested into other people and I know what it's like when you invest into something and it goes wrong. And normally, I wanted to make sure that I handled that well, because very, very, very seldom, there's been maybe a few times where someone's invested in me and lost. Not many times. It should be less than how many fingers I have in one hand, but that was one of them. And I was like, so how do people act when I invest in them and they lose? Typically, they're horrible about it. Yeah. It's like they don't care, or they give a bunch of excuses, or they try to run away, or they ask you for more money. There's most people, when you lose money with them, it sucks, and they suck at how they handle it. So I'm like, what's the type of person I want to be? And so I faced it and I said, Sheik, I hope you can forgive me. And if you don't, I understand. I am so, so sorry. I am so, so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. I can't say sorry enough. I fucked up. And I just, words can't describe, what I'm saying? And but I lost, I lost it. Yeah.
Man. Wow. Well, dude.
And that's that. That's that. I haven't heard from Sheik to this day. He hasn't never reached out to me even to say hello. And
can you imagine? He's just like a casual Wolf Web 3 Spaces listener.
Yeah, I mean, when you can just throw, a couple 100,000, or 83 Bitcoin at a YouTube and kid from YouTube, what I'm saying? Like, he's got it pretty good. Probably. But that doesn't matter. It's the principle. Like, it doesn't matter how much money someone has. That's something that always pissed me off. When people are like, oh, I know $1,000. I know it's nothing to you, but I'm like, whoa. Man, don't come at me with that shit. Like, God, that really bothers me. People are like, I know it's nothing to you, but like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about? God, like, if I told that Sheik, well, I know it's nothing to you, Sheik. Yeah. How are you doing today? He probably would have killed me. I probably couldn't even travel to Europe, and I would have had some horse riding saber sword brigade come and get my ass. You know what I'm saying? But I tried to handle it with as much respect as I could. Like, how much, the money's gone.
Sure.
Words can't do anything, but at least I can try to go down with dignity and say, Sheik, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I fucked up, and that's that. But he knew the risk too. He knew the risk.
Sure. Well, if someone can find him, that's the mission of our Tuesday. If you're not doing anything else, track down this man. Let's see if you can get him to tune into this podcast stream.
He's probably making deals with government officials and presidents and shit. So, but that was cool. It was cool to have someone like try to fire that off fire that off to me. I never really liked trading other people's money. Like even my friends
Mm,
and family account, I
yeah,
rarely even trade it. I rarely even trade it. It's more of
really.
like a savings account. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take the money. How much can you make? And how much should we do? And how much? I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, whatever you give me, don't ask. I'll tell
Oh,
you when something happens. If you need the money, let me know.
yeah.
I haven't even done a trade on that account. And well, I did one like 3 months ago because I was on a pretty good spree this year. But I maybe done like 2 trades with it this year, just the
Mhm.
family and friends account. And so yeah, I really don't like trading other people's money. I really don't.
Do you think it's a good idea that more and more people get into trading? Like how hard is trading actually for someone who has kind of heard about it, kind of dabbled in? They're not fully locked in. They're not making tons and tons of trades, but they're like, how difficult actually is this profession? And how long can I expect to be in training mode before I'm hopefully making some bags, and printing some money?
Boy, good question. Well, as things get harder and the gap between the upper class and the lower class um, shrinks, I guess, since the middle class is disappearing. The less middle class, the more poor people, and the harder it is to make money, the more people are going to trade. This is a growing industry.
Hmm.
So people can do it. You can do it. Um, the what I suggest is number one, don't demo trade. That's fucking useless. But what you can do is trade with a very, 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 very small amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's still real. And man, I mean, you can find a good strategy. I guess I don't know, the average person, man, everyone's different. Everyone is different. And a lot of times people they want more, but they don't need more. Like they just
Mm,
they wanna soak up more, they wanna know more, but they already know everything they need. Like you already have a couple good strategies. That's really all you need. You
I
don't
see.
need to be trading every damn day. Like
Mm,
you just wait for the good positions, a couple trades a week. And if you're a busy mom, have a couple minutes, couple time frames, like anyone can do it.
mm,
It depends on the person, man. It depends on the person, but trading uh it's not going anywhere. It's only increasing. Same with like sports betting. Sports
yeah.
betting's not going anywhere. That's increasing.
It's been
All these little
huge.
side job, side hustle shit. It ain't going nowhere. It's going up.
What do you think about some of these AI agents that are supposedly helping people predict what's going to happen in the charts, months in advance even? What do you think about some of these AI things?
Mm, I mostly call bullshit. I mostly call bullshit. We've all been duped by the AI trade bot schemes in crypto 4, 5, 6 years ago. That got us all pretty good. Got a lot of us into crypto. A lot of
Mhm.
people are into crypto. Most people got into crypto from a scam. Just no one really wants to admit it. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, it's a lot. Like, how much data are you really sucking in? Like, oh, we're doing word AI scheming social media to judge some shit. Like, okay, maybe that's good for selling. I don't know, man. I mean, the AI is pretty. If it can think, it depends on what it's being fed. Like
Yeah.
the reason why AI marketing is so powerful is because everybody with a phone is feeding it. Everyone is feeding it. That's why
Mm,
AI advertising is the best form of AI right now. Probably will be for a long time. But not everyone's feeding trading shit to the almighty AI. So I call
mm,
bullshit.
interesting. Would you if you were I haven't really seen them to be honest, but if you did find one that worked, what would that change anything about the way you uh I don't know, like move like live at all? Like if you found a thing that worked and it was I think because I think some of the fear is that traders are like, crap, we're gonna get out traded as soon as this AI thing comes, and then is the industry gonna change forever? Do I have to learn new skills? Like, are you worried about any of that stuff, or are you pretty sure and set that you might be okay?
No, no, I'll be fine. I mean, because then you have AI that's battling each other and then it cancels each other out, you know?
Game theory, right?
Or unless the battling AIs are secretly working together. So,
Ah.
um, or if there's no way for the AIs to communicate with each other, like if AI one from like the Goldman Sachs AI is not communicating with the Charles Schwab AI, like if they're separate from each other, but will they learn what the other one's doing? Will they battle each other? Will they both work together so they win and no one else does? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but
Mm.
um AI is like it's I like it. I like the being able to create images and thumbnails and art because I shouldn't have to pay some shithead snub artist. I shouldn't have to overpay him for something that I need now. When I make a video, I need my thumbnail now. Damn
Mm.
it. And if they're smart, they'll use the technology. A normal painter and artist should be able to use that art AI better than me.
Mm.
And if they're not, then they're the asshole, not me. They just want to complain because they're fucking miserable. No AI's coming to fix my toilet plumbing. Okay, not yet. Until
Not for
I
now.
do have a robot cleaning my house right now. I
The
have this
little
little
vacuum one?
robot. He's got his name is Narwhal. I have a Narwhal. I bought it on Amazon Prime and I fill it up with water. And every day, every other day, the little guy's running around my house right now, cleaning and mopping, and I fucking love it.
And mopping, you said?
And it mops. It's called a
Wow.
narwhal. Yep, it's got 2 little spin mops. It sweeps, it vacuums, and it mops. I have to change the dirty water and the clean water, twice per job, or like 1.5 times. It's literally buzzing around my kitchen right now, and I look at the map, it's so cool. You can put, no fly zones on it, like where I have a bunch of wires and shit. I
Mm.
t No fly zone. It doesn't go there. It knows that I have an animal, um, and it gets better at cleaning. Now it goes through all of my chairs. It goes through I look at the map of everywhere it went. It
Wow.
goes ham. It goes ham. I love it. My floors are clean. It's great.
Dude, that is actually pretty sick. That is pretty sick.
Yep.
So I'm curious, what does a day in your life look like? Do you have any semblance of like a repeating, reoccurring type of schedule, or is it completely different, on the day?
Well, you know how hard it is to get a hold of me, when I schedule things. I
Hey, we got it done today.
no, I, um no, I don't really have I drink coffee, and a day in my life is not an exciting thing. I don't post I don't, like, flaunt things on Instagram. Like, I
Mm.
do post trades on Twitter and stuff, like, when I have wins. I've been doing that lately. And losses, I post losses too.
Mhm.
Oh, man, I don't know, man, I just chill, man. I chill.
Yeah. Yeah, why not, I guess why not chase the flashiness, to get more eyes on the channel, teach more people about
It's
trading?
not me, man, it's not me. I mean, there's a fine line between I'm showing this because anyone can do it and you can too, and the other side of that line, which is look at me, look at me. Like
Mm.
I despise the yearn for fame. Although sometimes I see where it's beneficial. I'll be like, I'll be like at events and I'll be like, dang, if I wasn't wearing a mask, people would know me and maybe I would be able to cut this line, you know? But nah, I mean, and it's not like I'm that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like in our little space, a decent amount of people, know who CryptoFace is, and I'm thankful for that. But I always thought that people who want to be famous have a problem. And I've kind of now I'm kind of 50-50. Like, maybe it's okay. Like maybe it's okay to I don't know. To me, I can only speak for myself. What's important to me when I die, when I'm on my deathbed, the only people that are going to be there is my family and friends. Um, and that's pretty much all that matters. really you die fucking alone, and you die with Jesus Christ and hope his ass approves you when them pearly gates open up.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
No, that's a pretty good mindset to have, I think, and especially in your position when it's probably pretty easy to let yourself kind of 3x the size of your head once you start getting some money, especially some fame on the internet. Is just
Yeah.
it's like the yes men of all yes men in an app, especially if you're really good at garnering attention. You can get pretty crazy out there.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I'm lucky to not have that trait, because I've
yeah.
always, for me, ever since I was little, I always thought I was supposed to be in a successful position. So like I've always had that mindset. Like someone who's, maybe poor, but they're conservative because they believe in the same principles and values. So when they do, get I mean, like a poor person who believes in, you know, a smaller government and lower taxes on the rich, and so as opposed to someone who wants more handouts. And
Mm,
when finally they get the money, like there's plenty, you see plenty of rich people who are like, damn, I thought I was liberal. Yeah, tax the rich, fuck the rich, down with them, they're evil. And then they run into some money, they're like, oh my God, hell no, we need less
mm.
taxes. This is some bullshit. This is bullshit. Why? Oh man, don't even. Oh my God, I don't even want to get started. I don't even want to get started.
I had asked a friend this a while back. It was during the last bear market, things were getting pretty tight. I was a entrepreneur, just barely making it by full time still. And I had asked my friend who owns a marketing firm. I was doing a podcast, and I was doing a podcast with him, and I said, "How much mentally does the stress alleviate when you're not month to month anymore?" He had a house, he had a Jeep. It seemed like he was relatively doing okay, and he was like, I've made pretty good money, but I feel the same exact stress.
Hey,
It's just
yep,
different. And so I'm
different
curious on
shit.
on your
Yep,
thoughts.
it's the same. It's the same, but it's there is no stress like wondering how you're going to pay rent. That's a shitty stress.
Mm,
There are other stresses that are equal as well. There's a couple that are certainly equal. Um, and then there's some that are less. Maybe there's some that are more, if you're gonna die, or if nobody loves you, you know.
mm,
One thing I've always had is I did have a loving family and loving parents. Um, and with that I was able to make something of myself. Um, if I had to if I was like a spirit in the air and I had a choice between two humans, like you either get to start with 5 or 10 million, or you get with no loving parents, or you get to start with two loving parents, but you're broke. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? That's a tough decision, but you
mm.
probably want to go with the loving parents.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff matters a ton, and it's kind of slept on. I think recently that conversation has gone a bit more open, and people are talking about it a bit more. But yeah, it makes a huge difference in kind of the way you view the world,
Sure.
how you fit into the world, kind of thing. I know we're kind of closing up here, so I've got a couple of rapid fire Q&A questions as well. But what are a couple, like one or two things you've picked up along the way in the last 5-10 years or so, as you sort of navigated this game of life?
Get someone that tracks everything you do and records it. That's a good one. Um,
Mm,
don't let your head get too big, man. And I feel like that's the majority. I don't know if it's the majority, maybe a small majority, maybe like 60% of people that do find success, they do turn into assholes, and they won't see it themselves, but everyone around them does.
mm,
And then, I don't know, sometimes they never learn, maybe they do. Uh, I don't know, be a good person. Fucking Sometimes we get comfortable. Sometimes you have to be like ripped out of your situation or to be better. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm in the same shit as everybody else here. We're in the same planet, and so everyone's
Yeah.
booty stinks.
It's a good way to that's a good way to put it. Right on, bro. Well, I got a couple of rapid fire Q&A questions, and then we'll wrap. This has been a phenomenal conversation, by the way. All
Thanks.
right. Yeah, man, 100%. So we'll do we'll just do a couple here. Do you have any tattoos?
Yes, I have 2 of them.
Are you down to disclose what they are?
Uh, no.
Very well. On to the next question. If someone's a perma bull at all times, do you think over the long run this is a fruitful mindset to have, or do you think it's a bit too optimistic?
Ooh. Mm. Jeez. Yeah, that's a tough question. It's a tough question. Hey, are we talking about crypto or just everything?
That's a good little rebuttal there.
Yeah.
That kind of does change
We're
the
talking.
answer a little bit, doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
that's
we'll talk. We'll just talk crypto. We'll talk
we'll
crypto.
say crypto. Yeah, yeah. Permabull and crypto. It depends. It depends what you use it for. I mean, if you're using it for short time trading, hell no. Hell no. But if you've been a permabull on Bitcoin for the past 10 years and you bought in and you haven't sold, you're sitting hella pretty right now. You're sitting real pretty. Yes, you are.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, and then dude, there was one more. I wrote it down. I don't know where I put it. Um,
Was it a random question like, do
it
you
was
believe in aliens or what's your favorite pizza?
um
Or was it?
It was something silly like that, but it had to do with crypto. Oh, it was did you ever get into the NFT side of things? Did you ever trade NFTs? I met a few people later in my journey that after the NFT wave had kind of happened, they told me they're like, "Oh, I was big in NFTs." And I was like, "Oh, crap. It makes sense." Were you trading these at all?
Hell no. Well, I did get suckered into a couple, mainly one. There was one NFT collection that I did get that I kind of liked, and I bought a few of them.
Okay.
And they were pretty pricey. But um I was always an NFT denier. I was a metaverse denier. I was a virtual VR reality denier. And I was also a McCluskey, the Celsius denier. I knew that stunk. FTX, never took a dollar from them, didn't trade on them, knew something was weird about it.
Really?
Did I know everything was going to happen the way it did? No, but I stayed away. I don't know. I mean, I've slipped into my fair little share of like scammy shit, but not as much as the average other asshole on YouTube out there.
I was gonna say
FTX,
everyone
Celsius,
had
McCluskey,
FTX,
all those
bro.
fuckers, Metaverse, the NFTs. That shit's nah, man. We can see that shit from a mile away, bro. Not that the technology isn't good or there's a use case for it, but you can't just have a good idea. You have to have people connecting it and shit that use, and it has to be easy for your average person. And we are
Mm.
so far away, so far away
Indeed,
from
we are
that.
far away. Indeed, we are. All right, final question. Is there anyone you want to shout out as we wrap up this conversation?
I'm doing these political talks. I'm going to shout out Restore the Republic. RTR it's a Solana, it's on Solano. The last 2 weeks, we've had space interviews with Donald Trump Jr., um, his wife, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and I think we're having her on again on Thursday. And I want to shout it out because, man, the token has already been there for a while. And it had some drama when it first came up. Some shit happened. But it's a community it's never been gone, but it's back. And man, I let my Discord know I was like, yo, there's gonna be some PR on Monday. So I'm gonna tell you guys about this on Monday. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys now. And man, the market cipher CryptoFace community, man, we have some power. I might have to start a scam shit token because I could drain 7, 8 million out of my people. If I'm ever down and I need like 7 or 8 million, I'm gonna come out with the greatest shit token. I'm gonna tell everyone it's the greatest thing, and then that's gonna be the end of me, and I'll probably be dead because you guys are gonna find me.
Sounds exactly like most influencers we see today.
Man, I don't know how these guys do it, man. I don't know how these guys do it. They just, God, some of them have, got so much, like 50, 100, 300 million. And it
Yeah.
was just a shit coin play and they dump on everyone. Like, come on, what the fuck? What the fuck?
It's it's so degenerate when I think about it. There's been cycles of that too. Like, I thought that was really bad on some of them. I thought there were some projects that were cool and potentially had the possibility of existing, and we've seen a couple make it through. But we saw this thing with the Solana. I'm curious. I know we're probably over time here, but just the last thing here. Do you have any thoughts on this when Solana was doing that pre-launch, just collecting addresses and people were getting whitelisted? I'm sure people were commenting on your videos asking, which of these was going to pump kind of thing. But did you ever get into that where you sent money and then they would send you money back and it was just like this built on trust essentially, and then it just turned into an entire cesspool after a couple of weeks? But
No, I never got into that. But when I first came into the game, we had our own scams that brought us into this shit and scammed us. It's like we're OGs now. It's like people who got in 2017, in the scams that were back then, and those scams were great scams, man. They had us all fooled. And some of us, they didn't. I mean, well, probably most of us, we weren't fooled, but the money was coming in. And it was like, okay, we're playing this fucking duck, duck, goose. Who's going to be the last person in the chair? They're screwed. And then everyone ends up being the last person on the chair and everyone gets screwed. And so, man, we know, man, these scams, they're always going to be there. And man, I wonder, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, man, what these guys must have, are they dumb? Are they confident? Or do they work that hard to protect themselves from a scam? Like if you just scam people out of hundreds of millions of dollars, how do you get away with it? Is it the country they're in? Do they go to an island? Like, are they that webbed and protected? Nobody snitches on them.
yeah.
It's like, God, man, those guys are brave. They're pieces of shit, but man, brave.
I am right there with you, bro. Yeah, I could not imagine running a scam like that. I would not be able to sleep at all. So yeah, I'll start there. If anyone has any
Peace
ideas,
is
bro,
everything. You got to have peace, bro. It's like you need peace, man. Man, I don't know how those guys have peace. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah,
that's right.
Good stuff. This was good.
Yeah, man, 100%. I really enjoyed the conversation. And the Rebel in Black, I see your comment. Yeah, we were. I mean, basically, yeah. If you dropped a question to any video stream, we'll see it. But we are about to wrap here, so just want to say a big shout out to everyone who's tuning in to the stream on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X. Really appreciate all of you coming by. Give CryptoFace a follow. Get involved. Try and get into a Discord. How do you get into that? By the way, do you open that up? Is it paid?
No, it's if you buy Market Cipher, it's the Market Cipher Discord, and so if you get Market Cipher, you're able to have access to it. So
perfect.
yeah.
Right on. All right, man. Well, listen, I had a great time. I really appreciate you swinging by, and we'll have to have you on more streams or spaces.
Let's do it, bro. We ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going nowhere, baby. Right on. All right, everyone. Take care. Have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. We have spaces every single day here at Wolf Web 3.
Thanks, Cade.
Yeah, man. 1000%. And